to another video with me, Yngwie J. You can call me this guy if that's tricky to pronounce. It's good to have you along. Today I'm talking about speed picking on guitar, playing fast, and why I think anyone can do it, and I'll give some hints and tips on how to do it. So I'll be right back after this intro. Okay, so today I'm talking about speed picking and why I think anyone can do it. The first bit is going to be kind of a mental thing, and the second bit is going to be actual practical hints and tips on how to do it. So, first for the mental side. Now, I think anyone can do it. I honestly do. If Cornel Rishka Mun, I don't know how to pronounce that name, but if he can play drums, you can play fast on guitar. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's a drummer who, out of 4 limbs, 2 hands and 2 legs, only has 1 leg. So, if he can play drums, you can play guitar. And you can play guitar fast. Now, you might have objections. You might say, not everyone can win the Olympic gold at a 100-meter sprint, for instance, and that's absolutely true, but what you're talking about there is being the fastest. There's a difference between being the fastest and being fast. Fast enough? Well, that depends on how fast you want to be, but I'm absolutely 100% certain that you can become fast. The biggest obstacle, I think, when it comes to being fast on playing guitar or learning anything, basically, is in your head. If you think you can't do it, you won't be able to do it. And I see this because I'm a teacher. I see this time and time again. It's always the excuse, I can't do it. Well, it's not an excuse, but still, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when people say, I can't do it. Yes, if you think you can't do it, you won't be able to do it. So, set yourself the goal of becoming fast and believe that you can do it, or just forget about if you can do it at all and just enjoy practicing it. It'll still be frustrating at times, but if you enjoy it, well, if you do it, you'll look back upon that practicing and you'll have positive memories of it. That's the way I look back at my formative years on this instrument. There were tons of moments when I just wanted to throw this thing out the window, but now looking back, it was a great time and I loved every minute of it. Okay, so then the practical tips. Number 1, if you're using a metronome and you're having trouble at a certain speed, let's say you're at 120 BPM and you want to play whatever. So this would be roughly 120 BPM, might be off by a bit. And let's say you're having trouble playing this. What I like to do is just go faster, even faster. Forget about being perfect, just go for it. You can do this with a metronome so that you set it much higher than what you're capable of doing, and then you go back to what you were kind of, if it's 120, you go back to 120 and suddenly it feels easier. And you can kind of keep pushing the boundary like that. The way I did it, because I didn't use a metronome, only occasionally did I use a metronome, I would just go over the top with the speed and then come back down, and that way you can push that boundary. So that really helped me, and I've heard this from other people as well, that it really helps. Okay, next up, you might still be having a lot of trouble with playing fast. Now personally, I like to have my hand anchored here so that my palm, or this part, is kind of anchored here. But there are a million different ways of doing this. I mean, Eddie Van Halen basically wobbles his hand about in the air. I can't do that, but it works for him, and there are loads of different ways of doing this. You do it the way you think is best, but I've noticed that it helps me when I actually anchor the hand here, and I have a whole special video on this in my Guitar Academy. You can find the link below where I talk about the picking hand, and you want to angle the pick a bit so that it's not hitting at a straight angle, or kind of that it's not in line with the string entirely. So I angle my pick a bit, and that helps. Okay, so that's the right hand. Now the problem is that you need to do something with the left hand as well. So if you're trying to learn this, let's say, there are two hands doing something there. There's the left hand doing this, and the right hand basically just... and together they do something like this. Now if you can do both, so that you can do this and this as legato, and do them at different speeds, so you can do both slower and then you should be able to synchronize the two. So what I would do, and this goes for any kind of problematic thing that you're trying to learn on the instrument, is try to break it down into small bits. So instead of just banging your head against the wall with this lick, if this is your first one string lick or whatever, kind of try to get your right hand going. Because that's a separate problem to the left hand, which would be... The thing there is that when you get the right hand, which is my right hand, I forget, my picking hand, when you get that going, and when you get the left hand going, okay, there's an added problem there of legato, but still, or hammer-ons and pull-offs, but when you get that going, the only thing that remains is synchronizing the two. And if you're trying to get your left hand moving and your right hand moving and synchronizing them at the same time, that can be a really tricky process. So it might help if you try to separate the two and then combine them later. Okay, so that's basically it. Of course, that's not the whole story, but it would be an hour-long video if I started doing the whole story, or 10 hours, I don't know. But I have more of this stuff in my Guitar Academy with a more detailed explanation of how I do the right hand, and a bunch of exercises and stuff. Well, basically there's everything from theory to technique and the mental side and whatnot. So you can check that out in the description below. And my phone just went bling. Someone probably wants me home. Hello, my lovely wife. Yeah, so I hope these tips help. Remember, just keep going, because stop saying pling. Remember, just keep going, you will get frustrated. I think the biggest thing is not actually the technical side, it's the mental side. Remember to believe in yourself. Don't get depressed. You will get depressed occasionally, frustrated. That's okay, but don't give it up. Just keep going at it and you will get there. I really don't see any reason why you wouldn't, if I did, if Steve Vai did, if Yngwie Malmsteen did. You might think these guys and me, that we're talented, might be, but 99% of it was just hard work. And if you think of it in terms of work, boring, I have to work, then you're gonna fail. Believe in yourself, enjoy what you're doing, and you will get there. So, I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you have any more tips on how to increase speed, just let me know. Be interesting to have a discussion in the comments. Something different from the normal YouTube discussion. Hey, you suck! You suck even more! Yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell notification, and support me on Patreon because you get a bunch of exclusives and you get my music. And if you want free music, check out my website below. That's where you can find said free music. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was of some help to you. And yeah, hope to see you in another one. Take care. Goodbye!